Hi there, Geminis, and welcome to your dream reading for the month of August. So, I'm going to be reading your dream reading from this book, Tarot of Dreams Guidebook. Love it! And this is called the Story Spread. Okay, so basically, this is designed especially for the Tarot of Dreams. The Story Spread encourages you to think of your life and your situation as a story. It also provides a method of investigating and challenging the stories told to us by our conscious minds. Often, our ultimate happiness depends on our willingness to constantly question those egocentric stories and see if they are really true, or if our ego is telling us something that only serves to cause us more stress. The first card position is called the story, and this card is a microcosm of the reading as a whole. The remaining cards are the rest of the story and serve to amplify and expand upon themes found in the first card. So, position one, the story. This card provides an overview of the chapter of the story that you are presently living. Okay, and we have here the Five of Cups. Okay, so I feel it. I feel it, Gemini. Ah, it's not pretty. Okay, this woman is obviously very distraught. Okay, this is a distraught woman. Alrighty, so it's not good. Okay, Gemini. But don't worry, we're gonna figure out why you're feeling this way. Okay. All right. So we have here the Five of Cups. So the Five of Cups, this is disappointment and dejection with a hint of exaggeration and self-dramatization. Learning experience, a negative attitude, a dejected woman sits against a wall with her head in her hand. On the ground floor are three cups broken in disarray. Behind her float two wine-filled cups. In our various endeavors and adventures in life, there comes a point when the reality of the situation clashes with our hopes and desires. Alrighty, there's often two cups in the background there. Um, there's often a tension between how things are and how we would like them to be, and the result is the disappointment and desolation that we see in the Five of Cups. This effect is heightened by our tendency to exaggerate and dramatize so that we feel like the woman in the picture, as if the end of the world is at hand. In fact, such disappointments are learning experiences, the cornerstone of emotional growth, and without them, life would lack substance and depth. The Three of Cups on the ground certainly give a gloomy impression. They are empty and one of the glass bowls is broken. The mermaids and the cups appear tumbled and chaotic as opposed to their cool orderliness on the other cards. This woman could be the poster child for the negative attitude. She is so busy being miserable that she has failed to notice the two full cups floating behind her. Mars and Scorpio. Like a bull in a china shop, reality stampedes across your fragile map of reality, Mars, painfully forcing you to re-examine and redraw the map, Scorpio. Okay. Again, Gemini. I mean, I I, I think you have this like. You have this person that's like looming over you that's really trying to be the poster child of negativity, the negative attitude. They're always in a negative attitude. They're always in a negative mindset. It's really hard to have a conversation with someone like that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, guess I'll just use ChatGPT. No, I'm just like, but I'm also not playing because honestly, it's like, why why continue to have a conversation or entertain a conversation with someone who's constantly negative all the time? I mean, even, seeing that, there's this distraught woman here, it's like you're surrounded by distraught energies, okay? I don't think it's specifically a woman or a man. I just think that, like, that's the energy, okay, of the reading here that's starting off. But we're gonna go deeper because you're a pretty positive person, Gemini. You might be going through a negative experience, but you usually don't let that get the better of you. You still keep pushing through and find the positive energy that you need to keep going. So Let's see what's going on here. The rest of the story. Position 2, what you think. This card describes your conscious mind or your ego, what it thinks about the story and what it thinks the story is in the final analysis. And we have here the tree of life. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, Gemini. Whoa, look, there's a lot going on here with this card, the tree of life. Yeah, there's a lot happening for sure. Okay, so that being said, we're going to take a closer look here at this tree of life card. Okay, so I'm not sure where to find the tree of life in this book because I never read this card before, but I'm going to look for it. We're going to find it in here. It's in here somewhere. Um, Maybe it's at the end of the book, possibly. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe the last card mentioned in here, possibly. All right. Let's see. All right, so I just discovered, thanks to ChatGPT, okay, I can't believe I'm using Chat. I can't even say it. Okay, with a straight face. But basically, this Tree of Life card, okay, there's no description in the book. All right, so basically, this is the structure of the Tree of Life, and 10 Spheroth numbered spheres from Kethar at the top to Malkuth at the bottom. All right. 22 paths, the connecting lines between them. Each path, one of the 22 Hebrew letters, and traditionally linked to one major arcana card. Simplified overview of the Sephiroth spheres: Kethar, crown, divine unity, pure being; Shokma, wisdom, masculine creative force; Binna, understanding, feminine receptive force; Shest, Mercury, loving kindness, mercy, loving kindness, expansion; Jibra, severity; discipline, boundaries; Tifarath, beauty; harmony, spiritual heart; Netzach, victory; emotions, creativity, endurance; Hod, splendor, intellect, analysis, communication; Yesod, foundation, subconscious dream, sexual energy; Malkuth, kingdom, physical reality, manifestation. Okay, so there's all of these. This is the Tarot Kabbalah mapping. I'm probably saying that wrong, but sorry, my apologies. So basically, I mean, this reminds me like of chakras for some reason because of the colors. Like, there's sacral head or not head. Sorry, I don't know. There's the sacral chakra, right? Um, there's a lot of chakras. There's 7 chakras, I think, right? Or 8. But anyways, there's also like Roman numbers on here. It's almost like a map. I feel like I don't know. Like you're definitely mapping out something, Gemini. Okay. Um, but there could be like the need for you to like align yourself with your like principles, also aligning yourself with your conscious awareness. I mean, dreams are subconscious. Let's see what the next card is about. I mean, you could be having vivid lucid dreaming that's helping you map something out here. um, Position 3, what you get. This describes the physical circumstances in which you'll find yourself if your story continues on its present path. Ooh, okay. Palace of Coins. Ooh, I like the Palace of Coins. There's some mushrooms there, some flowers, some deer. There's a beautiful palace, sunny skies. Um, okay, so maybe you're mapping out a pathway here to like a home. Something about like a home, like a place in the forest, like a fairy tale forest, Glen. I don't know, but this is the Palace of Coins. Okay, there you go. Beautiful imagery. The other palaces are The other palaces are fun places to visit, but the Palace of Coins is where we live. Here is where we feel safe and secure, where we can tend to our earthly needs, where we can be kings and queens of our own castle. Here also we can experience the four elemental energies as fully human attributes: the intellectual owl, the impetuous deer, the moody frog, and the mundane mouse. The mountains in the background are most distant than in the Palace of Wands. The dreams and goals remain, but home is always waiting when we need a rest from our journey. Yeah, thing is, you definitely were like mapping out a journey, like a whole like system. Yeah, it's a system really, of like where you needed to go, like a chart, charting your course, um, and it ultimately led you back home. Interesting. I feel like you were away from your home for a long period of time, and that's what gave you that negative energy, because that negative energy was like, I feel like it was like almost like traveling with you, but now you've like left it behind. Um, and now you feel safe and secure again. All right, so we have here position 4, what you feel. This card explores the emotional roots and foundations of your present circumstance. This is where you'll find emotional motivations. Ooh, we got the King of Coins waiting for you at home, I believe. This King of Coins here. Okay. So let's see here. The King of Coins. Personality. The King of Coins appears as a tribal chieftain. Okay, he's got this green, like, stones in his golden crown here. His face showing his long years of experience in working with and sometimes wrestling with his physical environment for the benefit of the tribe. The two pillars behind the page, representing abstract knowledge, are now closer to the king, thus becoming the wisdom of experience. The king uses this experience to guide him, as we can see from the guiding light that shines from the top of the left tower. He could be a merchant or a businessman, able to use his long experience to create a secure environment. His intuitive understanding of the cycles of growth permits him to look with a tolerant eye on the foibles of others and on the ups and downs of commerce. Kings are mature and decisive. The King of Coins would sometimes make hard decisions and would be more likely, for example, to lop off that branch that the Queen of Coins would have simply trained to grow in another direction. Yeah, I mean, you could have been with somebody who was like not supporting your decisions, very negative energy. Now, the stage of development here, a task or endeavor reaches a peak stage of operation. An example would be a business that has grown to the point where it can basically run itself. Approach kings are controlling. The King of Coins suggests that you do not simply accept the physical environment and constraints you are given, but that you take the initiative to change them to suit your own goals. Astrology, 2/3 Virgo, 1/3 Leo. The king works quietly and patiently to build up his resources, Virgo, while at the same time willingly taking his place as a leader in the eyes of those he leads and cares for, Leo. Okay, so, you are very much like taking care of others and leading, Gemini. So for you to have like this negative energy, like force that was like always constantly following you around, always constantly messaging you, always constantly being in your space, right? In your home, in your environment, right? It's like controlling the environment, power dynamics, okay? But you are, I feel like you're still even maybe currently mapping out a tree of life. You're mapping out a pathway forward through this energy, but you always know how to find your way back home. You always know how to find your way back to your safe environment, to your feeling, because home is really a feeling, right? Yes, we, describe as like, oh, we're going home, like we're leaving. Like, I don't know about you, but like when I talk to my kids, I'm like, oh, time to go home now, we're leaving, like that type of thing. Or, that, I don't know, but like, I don't say, oh, we're going back to like our apartment, we're going back to like the house, whatever. Like, I don't say stuff like that. But again, it's like you have to, like, it's a feeling. There's an emotional bond here that's happening for you, Gemini, that's really helping pull you out of the negative space that somebody else had you really in for a very long time. Very toxic energy, very toxic relationship. Like, yeah, because you do have the Queen of Coins here. Yeah, and she's looking right at the King of Coins. Okay, the placement here is really like she's looking right at the Five of Cups. She's looking right at this distraught woman. She's looking right over at the King of Coins. I feel like this King and this Queen are like harmonizing together. They're working together to help bring this negative energy away from you, also to bring you out of a funk. So I think it's like two very strong, good forces that are working together to help you at this time. Okay. I also love her pentacle necklace here. It's beautiful. Like, she's got these cute, adorable little yellow flowers that look like daffodils here. Okay. I feel like this could even be a mom and dad that really love you, Gemini, and really want the best for you. I also feel like this could be you nurturing and loving and mothering and parenting and fathering yourself as well. So let's see here. We got the Queen of Coins. So richly dressed and bejeweled. Oh yeah, she definitely looks rich AF. The Queen of Coins obviously enjoys the finer things in life. She enjoys them not because of status or the admiration of others, but because she truly appreciates such things for their own sake. She could be a gourmet chef who enjoys culinary creations, or someone who exercises for the sheer pleasure of physical challenges. She enjoys nurturing others as well as herself. She holds a spray of flowers, which she intends to decorate her home for the pleasure of her family. Like all queens, the Queen of Coins is a mature and serene presence. She is more likely to try to train a branch to grow in a different direction rather than lop it off. Without making a fuss, she quietly plans her environment and nurtures her loved ones. A period stage of development here is a period of quiet enjoyment of material pleasures, a time to give to others and allow others to give to you. Approach. Queens are feeling. The suit of coins deals with the material world, and the queen suggests that you appreciate and enjoy physical things and sensations, including sensuality and sexuality. Astrology, two-thirds Capricorn, one-third Sagittarius. The queen implies gentle discipline, Capricorn, in order to provide the ideal home base for which her loved ones can be expanding their horizons, Sagittarius. Yeah, I mean, you're definitely like the king might be a little bit more like, you know, orderly, I feel like, or like, like, okay, got things in order, gotta organize things. But like, I feel like the queen is also like equally like that, but she's also like decorative too. Like, she's like decorating the home, putting up flowers, decorations. There's an equal like give and take. There's an equal balance here, I feel like. And there's something here to do with like taking care of uh, the daughter or your daughter or something like that, where it's like you are nurturing and loving yourself. So maybe you're parenting yourself again. So maybe creating a home for yourself, a place where you know you can feel safe and warm. Maybe securing living arrangements. Having a shelter. I mean, not everybody says the word shelter, but I think it's like, it's an unspoken word. It's like when you move into a new house or a new apartment, you're seeking shelter. You're looking for a place to live where you feel safe and secure. So once you move in, you're now decorating and designing and setting up your own unique style. I mean, I I can relate to this card so well because I like decorating my home with like mushrooms and like fairy tale themed cottage core theme. My apartment does not look like this castle, okay, but you know what? It feels like a castle to me, right? It feels safe. It feels secure. Um, you know, I don't know, like just there's ways you can feel certain energies pull you in and out of whatever funk you're in. Also, I feel like for some of you, a message might be important for you that your mother and father do love you, or your parents love you. The people who cared for you and took you in, they love you, they care for you. And you definitely care for yourself here too, and you're no longer letting this negative, funky energy that is spent in your past keep you from feeling safe, feeling secure. You're working your way towards feeling safe and secure again if you weren't previously. Okay. Let's see here. So we have here what you deserve. Okay, that was actually, whoa, I think I just, did I skip over one? Oh, okay. So, yeah. So we have five here. What you deserve. This card shows what you expect on an emotional level. Yeah, because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Um, so that's got to be it. That's got to be the Queen of Coins. It's like you feel you need to feel safe and secure in your own home, basically. I lost count of how many cards I had here, but anyways, moving on. Okay, so we have what you tell, and we have this shows how you present yourself to others and how you express yourself, and we have here the Five of Swords. Whoa, lots of tattoos on this person's hands, on their fingers. Whoa, check out all that. We got all these like symbols for the planets on there. That's badass. Okay, so Five of Swords. Okay, so wow, you're a warrior, Gemini, for sure. Um, when you're away at battle, I mean, you're like being called to action on something there with that Five of Swords energy. So let's take a look here at that Five of Swords energy. Five of Swords. Okay. Um, a humiliating defeat, either our own or one which will inflict on someone else. The kind of person who must always be right. A defeat that life or circumstance hands us, which we are helpless against. Wow. I mean, I don't think you're helpless. This doesn't strike me as like you being helpless, okay? But maybe that's how you felt, all right? An apparition appears before us, looming out of the mist, bearing an upraised sword. His expression suggests contempt and mercilessness. In most battles or disagreements, there is a winner and a loser. Here, the sword bearer has won a victory, and the small, stricken figure has suffered an inexorable defeat. Okay, so maybe you defeated this person that was like constantly like being negative towards you. I feel like you found a weapon of like weapon to like that was final. It's like final. It's like you found a way to respond to this person without them using your words and weaponizing them against you. Honestly, that's how I feel. There's also like a figure down here that looks like laying down, like possibly this person you could have defeated or is like no longer coming at you. So this card is about the person who always needs to win. Yeah. hmm Everyone knows or has met this kind of person. In fact, you yourself may exhibit this tendency on occasion. The man's facial tattoo suggests that he is operating from a primitive savage instincts. When this card comes up in a reading, someone has defeated you handily and has taken great pleasure in doing so, or you yourself have defeated someone else. In this card, the fact of winning has become more important than the prize that was won. Such a victory is likely to become ephemeral and will eventually vanish into thin air, like the fog of mist out of which the victor on the card emerges. Sometimes it is not another person, but life itself that hands us a humiliating defeat. This interpretation is supported by the planetary symbols on the man's fingers, as if the stars themselves have conspired to do us in. In this case, we can do nothing but accept our loss and move on. Venus and Aquarius. Venus shows what we value. In Aquarius, we value the cause we are championing, with little or no empathy or compassion for the individuals whose lives are affected by our actions. That definitely is what happened to you, Gemini. That's what happened to you. That's why you have this Five of Cups energy, because you were this person was like always battling you, always trying to win, take one over on you, always acting out of instinct, no empathy, lack of empathy. But the thing of that is though, is like the king and queen of coins are here to save the day. Like they're no longer, you know, being like, okay, Gemini, we're gonna let you just be defeated. Yeah, they're no longer letting this slide, Gemini. They're coming out and they're like, you know what? We're not gonna let Gemini be hurt any longer. This is just can't happen. This can't just stand for this anymore. And that's why I feel like you do have the tree of life. It's like stands as like symbols, signs from the universe, a map that's saying like you weren't born to be like defeated by this negative energy that continues to try to be on your path with you. Instead, you need to separate yourself from this, put yourself as number one. Number one's at the top here. Prioritize yourself, number one, and then go from there, step by step process of how you're going to, you know, basically escape this negative cycle that's continually following you and your home, affecting your home life, your environment. All right. So, Position 7, what you are, the parts of yourself that have been determined by the physical circumstances of your upbringing. This one's always comes out really interesting. Okay, Knight of Cups. Alrighty, there you go, Knight of Cups. So, Knight of Cups. So, this knight is riding a seahorse. Awesome. Personality. While the page floats near the surface, the knight plunges straight into the depths. A figure of fantasy, he rides a seahorse, and on his shield he bears the cup motif. He is a champion of love. He lives and dies for love. He is in love with love. Many think the knight would be the perfect lover, but a steady diet of his romanticism would probably become tiresome after a while. Nonetheless, without his energy, the world would be a dull place indeed. Alright, so yeah, this Knight of Cups, alright. I mean, obviously romance, love, like looking looking into that, okay. Um yeah, you want to be careful because basically without this energy, okay, of romance, the world would be a dull place. Indeed, am I right? Okay, like a girl needs some romance. Obviously, this Five of Cups, she needs some romance. All right, but stage of development here, the Nine of Cups represents a stage when one's focus is on emotional matters. Care must be taken that this focus does not turn into obsession. All right, and there you have it. I mean, like, somebody becoming like totally obsessed with you, but like, it's like that person that can just turn into like control and power dynamics. Knights are doing. The Knight of Cup recommends that you take emotional matters into your own hands. All too often we find ourselves paralyzed in relationships, indecisive and incapable of responding. The Knight tells us to dive into the deep end of the pool. Two-thirds Scorpio, one-third Libra, the Knight of Cup appreciates the beauty of his beloved Libra, which he worships with an extravagant intensity. Scorpio. Yeah, again, it's like you want someone to love you intensively, okay, and be attentive to your needs, okay, but you also don't want somebody who's like being like totally obsessed with you either, okay, so there's that to consider. We also have here what you need, really, honestly, Gemini, what you need. This card shows what you feel you need to be happy on a physical level. In other words, what level of physical comfort or security you need on what level of risk. And we have the Page of Cups. So we go from the Knight to the Page. Interesting. All right, so let's see what the Page has to say about this. So the Page Cups is a young woman. So maybe the knight wants this young woman here who is sensitive to emotional and intuitional, undercurrents. Although she is too inexperienced to grasp the full meaning of these messages or to put them to practical use, she can perceive that something is there. Thus, in the picture, she floats underwater but still near the surface. Her hat acts as a sort of antenna that allows her to pick up vibrations that others might miss. Likewise, the cups seen on the other cups cards have here evolved into columns, conveying psychic messages from the water's depths to the surface. These messages can sometimes be disturbing, but the page, while vulnerable, faces them with bravery. The page augurs the beginnings and emotional matters. A new relationship or a new phase of a relationship is often indicated. Approach. Pages are learning. The Page of Cups is suggesting that you remain open to the possibility of learning something from an emotional experience. If an emotional situation seems hopeless, try approaching it with the heart of a child. Be flexible and see if you can learn a new way of relating. Yeah, I guess it's like you have the very like full speed ahead romantic person coming at you, but you're just like, okay, well, I need a second here to like catch up with that because that's news to me, right? Or, it could also be like you might fancy you might really be into this Knight of Cups. And this Knight of Cups might really be into you, but I feel like you might be a little bit hesitant because of the past energies that you had to deal with, somebody having power and control over you and your time and your energy. So it's like you are looking into a new phase. You are looking into a new phase in your life, but as as to like what's going to happen and transpire as a result of this. Like, I feel like you're getting over somebody or something that really had a negative impact on you, and you're sort of like now getting your full bearings together again and laying down the foundation work. And now there's like a new person in here that's like made you an offer of like, oh, I can be romantic with you or whatever, and you're just like, okay. Like, I don't know, like you have some doubts, about that, which is pretty normal, especially because if you've been hurt in your past before. But you gotta, trusting people is a good, learning to trust again, trusting yourself. That's always a process. What you expect. This shows what your conscious mind or ego expects for the future. And we have here, oh, the Ten of Cups. Oh my God, that's beautiful. Look at that. All the doors open. There's flowers. There's cups. There's a dog. There's a mom and dad, the kids. All, it's like one little happy family. I love this. This is beautiful. Okay, so you do have the mom and dad type energy happening here that's trying to comfort you because you are going through, feeling attacked by somebody, Gemini. So, but there is still hope that a romance will come again, and it will lead to this Ten of Cups energy. So that's positive, okay? So let's see here, the Ten of Cups. I love this. I love the flowers all over the doorway. Oh my gosh, beautiful. Okay, peak emotional fulfillment, a happy family life, whether a biological family or simply a group of friends. Happy family occasions or interactions, pleasant home activities. Having too high expectations, wishful thinking. 10 cups line a path made of flagstones. They lead to a door which is swinging open. The image of a joyous family glows in the doorway, filling the card with a warm light. A friendly dog greets us on the path. In this card, we find the experience of peak emotional fulfillment, a happy family life. Of course, it need not be biological family. Whenever we form lasting bonds of friendship and love with others, we forge another link in the daisy chain of human solidarity, stretching from the distant past to the distant future. No matter what wars or prejudices may divide us, in the end we are all human. We are all one family. Thus, forming emotional ties to others is, in a way, a sacred act. In a reading, this card could simply mean happy family occasions or interactions, or pleasant occurrences related to the home. The image on the card can also be seen as somewhat idolized one. Perhaps you're settling your expectations too high or indulging in wishful thinking. Family life can be messy as well as joyous, and you will probably be better off if you have a realistic expectations rather than assuming everything will always be rosy. Oh yeah, Mars and Pisces. The drive to establish one's domain or territory, Mars, is tempered by compassion and awareness of a higher reality, Pisces, underlining everyday family events. Okay, but you did have the Palace of Coins, and the Ten of Cups is a happy home, happy life, happy family. I'm also getting like happy wife, happy life. Okay, but I do think that there is this tendency where Gemini, you have prioritized the well-being of everyone else over your own needs. So I want you to take that into consideration. There's also the factor that other people are caring more about their needs than the whole family's need dynamic as well, the group. So there's two opposing actions here. One action is like you would like to, have a happy home, have a happy life, Gemini, but also have time for yourself to pursue, romantic interests, to, feel that romance and that love again in your life that you haven't felt for a while now, because I feel like you did have your expectations, like, I wouldn't say they were high, but I do think that like you expected this past person to at least care about you emotionally, but because they lacked empathy, that led as a result to you feeling sad and distraught. But also they became a very negative person in your life as well, where they were constantly projecting all this negativity onto you, and you could not handle it anymore. So you had to reach out to, like, say a mom or dad figure, a king of coins, a queen of coins figure. You had to also tap into that energy yourself as well, because you had this family that you needed to take care of, okay? These people that you needed, that relied on you. So you do have this energy where and I'll take a look at it here now. So basically, like if we break down these rows, the top row 6, 2, and 9 is the mental energies here. That's that 5 of Swords. That's that like feeling of attack on you. Okay, that you really weren't expecting, but it happened regardless. You also have the Tree of Life, which isn't defined, in the book, but it is all about, I feel like, signs and symbols and numerology and mapping out a plan, step by step process to get to your 10 of Cups, to get to that mental state of the 10 of Cups energy. Okay, now, and break free from the 5 of Swords energy that was attacking you, and had a plan to manipulate and master your mind. Okay, and take control and power over you. Okay, which is very easily can be done, especially when you're trusting somebody, especially when you're giving somebody your heart, and in return they're supposed to give you theirs, and then it turns all toxic and crazy and gross. Okay. Now we have the middle row. That's 415. That's emotional. Okay. That's the King of Coins, the 5 of Cups, and the Queen of Coins. That's literally like you're like loving yourself right now. You're like mom and dad yourself right now. Okay, you're like parenting yourself, you're nurturing yourself, because the 5 of Cups is obviously a very emotional heartbreak, probably like divorce, separation, breakup, betrayal, somebody cheating on you. They're basically somebody breaking your heart. This 5 of Swords broke this 5 of Cups heart. Okay, they were negative all the time, that they were toxic all the time. This just brought you so feeling so low and so down, when all you really wanted to do this whole time was map out a quest and a path towards your 10 of Cups, and this person was not allowing that. Now we have at the bottom row 7, 3, 8. That's the physical. So you do want physical intimacy with somebody, like you do want like romantic relationship with somebody. The Knight of Cups and the Page of Cups. Okay, it looks like they do want to be together. Okay, now as I hope, I mean this, who this Knight of Cups is, I mean, I think you know that more than I do, Gemini. Okay, because you know energies be as they are. I don't see this 5 of Swords. The person who broke your heart, they're not acting like a Knight of Cups. Okay, so I think this Knight of Cups is a new future person, a new future energy that's coming in for you, that wants to be romantic with you, that wants to be physical with you. The Palace of Coins, they respect your home, your hard work. They respect your, style. You're decorating. You're building something here. This is the place you come back to. This is a place where you feel safe and secure. They want you to feel that way. Okay, they're in support of this. Okay, and the Page of Cups, you just went through a really tough breakup. If you're not going through it now, or you didn't go through it already and you haven't processed it already, it's happening. This energy is here. Okay, Gemini. So and you never. I don't think you've ever been through a divorce. I don't think you've ever been through a separation before. I don't think you've ever been through what you're going through before. It's all new to you, and that's why you're still going back to this Tree of Life. Okay, and the Tree of Life, that's the, like, trees are always symbolized as like family trees, heritage, bloodlines, the limbs on a tree. I feel like your Queen of Coins, I feel like your King of Coins is like ready to like chop off the branch of like your ex. Like, even if you had kids with them or whatever, they're like, please, can we chop this branch off already? Like, I don't want to deal with this person anymore. But of course, it's you know you sometimes, if they're so toxic and so horrible, you do have to like really distance yourself, get away from them physically. But I think this is more an emotional thing. Um, and I do think that, like, even though this person is like toxic AF, this ex is toxic AF, or this, I feel like you're in that phase now where you're like, oh my gosh, I just realized like this person is like my ex, right? Even if you haven't like actually divorced them or you haven't separated yet, you're in that process. Okay. I feel like also, as well as like that whole energy of this Knight of Cups coming in, is like they understand what you're going through, but like, they're I don't think, like, they don't want to be acting like they're obsessed with you or anything like that, but because I feel like your ex acted like they were obsessed with you, and then it became a control power issue that, you know, you weren't even allowed to like do basic things that most humans are allowed to do, because of the toxic ex that you were with. So you're definitely like, you've never gone through a divorce. You've never, maybe this is your first breakup. I don't know. Like, my audience is not usually people who like have gone through their first breakup. I don't think. I don't know. You can let me know in the comments. But I think honestly, it's like, you know, this is a major like heartbreak thing that's happened. It's not just like, okay, you know, I got into a small little tiff or argument with my, you know, significant other. No, this has been a long going process where this person has been constantly destroying the foundation that you worked really hard to build, the palace of coins, and you have to like keep rebuilding, keep rebuilding. It's like, it's a mental state, it's an emotional state. Okay. And it is a little bit of a physical thing. I'm not gonna lie. I think you did have to like move and start again. Okay. But at the end of the day, you are going back to this 10 of Cups. This is your dream. This is your goal. This is your purpose. This is what you want in life. You want a 10 of Cups energy. Okay. This is what you dream of. Okay. And you want it to physically manifest. Okay. Um, and that's what you expect for your future. Like, your family is very important to you, Gemini. So when things in your family are broken and when there's dysfunction, it does leave you feeling very sad. But it's not keeping you from your happiness. If anything, it's motivating you towards your goals, even more. So that is my analysis for you, my reading for you. All right, Geminis, love and light always. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.